I want to talk to you guys about something I've always wanted to cover. How I found out I was in an abusive relationship, not my current. And I'm someone who has experienced multiple types of abuse. They get in here.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So in today's video guys, we'll be talking about how these ladies discover that in the abusive relationship. So let's get into it, and I'll come.
They get in here before they do anything else to you, and it's quite literally like being a prisoner in these relationships. And I'm not talking about a specific person, by the way. The hardest thing for me to recover from was the emotional abuse. When I say emotional abuse, it came in the form of like extreme punishments. You and a partner may have an argument, you talk it out, or maybe you don't talk it out, but you know, life goes on. But in abusive relationships, the response to normal conflict, especially if it's somebody that you rely on financially, the way this person makes you feel like you are the literal scum of the earth for disagreeing with them, making a mistake, very normal mistakes. Instead of being like, damn, that was really messed up when you did that or when you said that, this person will talk to you and make you question your existence. The goal is to basically, under all circumstances, make you feel like shit. And also, the abusive person knows not to do this in front of other people, by the way. In a way, they kind of have these sneaky ways of making you look and sound crazy. Your mutual friends may be like, I've never experienced that. Well, why would you have experienced that? And then the person who's not experiencing it may be like, oh, that just sounds like a one-off. But it's like, imagine you're experiencing this cat and mouse game of never trying to piss them off, never trying to make them mad, never trying to make them react, never trying to get them to treat you the way that they treat you whenever you do something wrong. Imagine going through that cat and mouse like several times a day, every single day, or several times a week. You're quite literally in a perpetual state of like not trying to like piss this person off. Let's talk about jealousy. It's one thing to kind of joke about things like, who's texting my girl? You know what I mean? But no, I'm talking about, why are you wearing that? I don't want people looking at you. Unfollow every male that you know on social media, even if they're co-workers. Red flag. This is not just jealousy. It's combined with like an action. They're telling you what you're not allowed to do. And the jealousy, by the way, is never out of like actual genuine concern. They literally just want to be able to control you. That's a little different to being like, you were flirting with that guy, let's discuss. Something I also want to mention, these are things that you should absolutely be looking for, not just in relationships. This is treatment that can come from friends that are abusive, parental figure, and that's why I'm leaving the language quite vague. When a person's jealousy starts to affect things like your livelihood, your job, your social life, you have a big problem. Isolation is also another abuse tactic. It's the person telling you things like, why do you need to see your parents? It may be things like moving away from family, but then that person is stopping you from keeping in contact with them and talking to them regularly. They might say something like, why do you need to see them? Why do you need to talk to them? You don't need to see your parents. You saw them 2 years ago. Or it could be in the way that they're not saying it. If you don't have a car, for example, and this person does absolutely nothing to help you get around to see family and friends that don't live near you, and let's just say you don't live far away from friends and family, this person may use things like guilt to stop you from seeing and hanging out with people that normally are like a part of.
So that's the video guys. Now I want to share my true sense, like what I think about today's video. So I just want to give you tips to how to know that you are in a abusive relationship, because it's very hard to recognize, especially when you're in the middle of it. So we are going to break down the signs and the red flags to look out for. Okay, so if you ever wondered whether what are you experiencing is normal or not, this video is for you. So let's dive in. First of all, let's talk about what abuse actually is, because it's not just about physical violence. Abuse can take many forms, okay? Emotional, psychological, verbal, financial, and yes, physical. It's a behavior that someone uses to control, manipulate, or dominate their partner. And it's important to understand that abuse can happen to anyone, regardless of gender, age, or background. A lot of people think that abuse has to involve physical harm, but emotional and psychological abuse can be just as damaging if not more so, because it's often harder to recognize. It can start subtly with little comments or behaviors that make you feel uncomfortable, but over time it can escalate into something much more serious. Okay, so how do you know if you're in an abusive relationship? Here are some signs to watch out for. First, if your partner constantly puts you down, insults you, or makes you feel worthless, that's a huge red flag. They might discuss it as a joke or say that they're just trying to help you, but if it makes you feel bad about yourself, it's abusive. Another sign is if they try to control what you do, who you see, who or where you go. This might look like excessive jealousy, constant questioning about your whereabouts, or even preventing you from seeing friends or family. Control can also extend to finances. If your partner controls all the money, doesn't let you work, or makes you ask for money, that's financial abuse. Another thing that I want to talk about, you need to pay attention to how your partner reacts when things don't go their way. Do they get angry, rush out, or blame you for everything that goes wrong? Do they make you feel like you are always walking on eggshells, afraid of setting them off? This kind of behavior is emotionally abusive and creates a toxic environment that can be really hard to escape. Another thing is physical signs of abuse are often more obvious, but they are no less important. If your partner has ever hit, slapped, pushed, or threatened you, that's physical abuse. Even if they apologize afterwards or say it will never happen again, it's a serious issue that needs to be addressed immediately. Okay, so don't ignore such things. Now you might be thinking, but they are not always like this, or maybe I'm overreacting. It's really common for people in abusive relationship to minimize or rationalize the abuse. Sometimes the abuser is very charming and loving in between abusive episodes, which can make it even harder to recognize the pattern. Okay, this is what's known as the cycle of abuse. There are periods of calm and affection that are followed by tension and then another incident of abuse. Abusers are often very good at making their partners feel like the abuse is their fault or that they deserve it. They might say things like, if you had not done this, I wouldn't have reacted that way, or you're too sensitive. This is gaslighting, and it's a tactic to make you doubt your own reality and stay in the relationship. Okay, so if you are watching this video and realizing that some of these signs sound familiar to you, the most important thing you can do is to reach out for help. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, family, or therapist. You can offer support and help you see the situation more clearly. It can be very hard to leave an abusive relationship, especially if you have been isolated or feel like you have nowhere to turn, but there are resources available. Okay, so organizations like the National Domestic Violence Hotline offer confidential support and can help you create a safety plan. Remember, you deserve to be in a relationship where you feel safe, respected, and valued. No one has the right to make you feel afraid or controlled. Okay, to wrap this up, recognizing that you are in an abusive relationship is a first step toward getting out. It's not easy, but it's so important to acknowledge the signs and take action to protect yourself. If anything in this video resonates with you, I encourage you to reach out for help. You're not alone, and there is a lot of people who want to support you. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and if you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. If you have anything, questions, or you need someone to talk to, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me directly. Remember, you deserve to be in a healthy, loving relationship. Until next time, bye bye.